Hey everyone, good morning and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely, lovely day. I hope you're inspired. I hope you're ready to go after it and get it. Today I wanted to talk about why some people will not be able to make it in this country. So it's not only the fact that we're a consumer nation, right? It's okay to be a consumer. It's okay to want things. It's okay to go after things. It's okay to want the nicest car, the nicest house, and everything that comes with it. The problem is that we don't have the patience in order to accumulate enough wealth in order to start going after these things. There's a couple of rules that a lot of business people follow, a lot of investors follow, that allow them to make wiser decisions on the things that they want. It doesn't mean that we won't get it, it just means that we must amass a certain amount of wealth prior to going after these things. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to this video, and then we'll get right into these rules. So the first rule is a uh, finger rule. Not the 5 finger discount where you steal something with your 5 fingers and you get it for free. This is the 5 finger rule, which means if you can't buy it 5 times, you do not buy it one time. For example, a slice of bread. A loaf of bread might be $2.99. You would need $3 times 5, which is 15. Yes, sometimes I use my fingers to count. Still do it to this day, and I'm super proud of myself. So 3 times 5 is 15. If you have $15, that means you can buy one loaf of bread. Some people might say, this is ridiculous. I am living paycheck to paycheck. How can I afford to buy 5 times my food or pay 5 times my rent? That's a valid question. That's a valid concern. So I will kind of put myself in that same position on how did I do that. There was a time that I lived paycheck to paycheck as well. And that time was when I was in college. When I was in college, it was very hard to amass wealth. I was working full time and I was also in school full time. And, even when you would make a little bit of money, I would try to accelerate the process that I was in school. So I would take summer classes. Summer classes would cost me anywhere from $700 to another $1,400. Books would cost me about $200 to $700. And so, making $13 or $14 an hour at the time, it was very, very difficult to have money left over after rent, food, utilities, internet, books, um, and then, yes, the occasional party. And so, you know, I was literally living paycheck to paycheck, depending on my job until I got out of college. And then also, I was not taking on any student loan debt. I was paying off any debt as it came. So every semester, I was ensuring that I would pay whatever the balance was before the semester even began. And so that made things very, very tight for me as well. Because of that, it was very, very difficult. But I knew that once I graduated, I would no longer have the student loans. I would no longer have to buy any books. I would no longer have to divide my time between two different fields, which is school and work. And then also, the job that I was doing was based on what I could uh, use my time for, right? I couldn't just pick any job. I needed to pick a job that aligned with my schooling. So I was kind of limited in my job search as well, which meant I didn't really have a choice of where I worked. So I couldn't necessarily demand for the highest pay, even though I may have been worth more, right? And so with all those factors, I can understand why someone might say, I have children, I can't just go and pick a certain job field. Or I'm in school, I can't just pick a certain job field. Um, However, the children section will last a lot longer than 4 years of college. So we need to understand how can we navigate this environment in order to pick the jobs that will best be suitable for you. And do you need to change states? Do you need to go somewhere else that is a little bit more affordable and maybe pays more in order for you to have a decent life? So, with that being said, patience is necessary. Evaluating your personal situation, understanding what is needed from you, what you need to do. Do you need to work harder? Do you need to work less in order to learn a new skill? What do you need to do in order to acquire these things? If it's a new car that you want, guess what? We're holding off on a new car. No, you don't need a new car for your child's safety. You can find a used car with 100,000 miles that has an even better safety rating than a lot of these newer models. The difference is you want it, and then people will find any reason to justify their purchase. You understand? There are plenty of times where I did not justify my purchases. There are plenty of times where I did not get what I want. This massage chair right over here cost me about $1,700, and I did not purchase that massage chair for about 18 months. Easy 18 months. Did I have the money 18 months ago? Yes, I did. More than enough. Tens more, right? But I waited until my birthday. I finally gave in and I said, you know what? I deserve this. Not only do I deserve it, but I have way more than 5 times the expense of this chair. Way more than 10 times, way more than 20 times the expense of this chair. So, if I'm holding off on this gratification that I believe that I deserved, why can't you? I knew that I would only use this chair 3 or 4 times a month. So I knew it wasn't a necessity. It was a want. It wasn't a need. And so it has no bearing on my life. Now that I have it, it makes my mind a little bit easier that I no longer have to think about it every single day and every single month that I don't have this chair. But I thought about it for 18 months because I knew it wasn't necessary. And what could I do with $1,700? Well, I could make a lot of money. The stock market, 7 to 11% returns on that money. And even on a savings account right now, a CD, you can get 5% returns on that money. So you're telling me in 7 years, I could have doubled that money. In another 7 years, double it again. In another 7 years, double it again. And so there was a lot of pushback into doing this because this chair could essentially cost me easy $15,000, $20,000 for this chair that I might use for 5 years, maybe less. So that's the type of stuff that I battle with because I understand the value of compound interest. I understand the value of investing. I understand the value of making your money work for you and not just throwing your money away. This is legit throwing my money away. See, the difference between me and a lot of other people is that I understand when I'm throwing money away. I acknowledge it. I accept it. And then I say, I'm not going to do this 100 times or else I would be broke. Just like anyone else. Don't matter if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, if you spend all your money, you will be broke. So we have to understand when is a good time to do this. When is a good time to indulge? Well, when I make 30 times more than the cost of buying something, it's typically when I start to feel a lot better about myself splurging on such an expense. You understand? And so it's not a 5-finger rule for me, but you can start off with that, then you can move to 10, then you can move to 15, then you can move to 30, and eventually you'll be at a point in your life where it doesn't even make sense. You make this in a day. 1,600 a day, 2,000 in a day, right? And so those are the things that I think about. That's how I kind of navigate my wants and needs all the time. I know I'm going to buy food every single month. I know I'm going to pay the water and electricity every single month. But something like this is not necessary. And so I understand that this might cost me 1 week of work. Am I going to splurge on something that costs a week of my life? a, that whole week I did not like what I was doing. The whole week that I was working, I was tired. I was not satisfied, and I splurged it on this one chair. Is this chair worth a whole week of not only my life, but the hard work that I put in? Those are the type of things that I have to question. Those are the type of things that I have to ask myself. And when I ask myself that for 18 months, I finally say, you know what? It probably is worth it. So again, if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you have some patience with yourself. Make sure you have patience in the things that you want to acquire. And make sure you're at least following that 5-finger rule. And make sure if you are leaving a paycheck to paycheck, ensure that it is temporary. And then in the next video, I may talk about how to increase your income. All right. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and Rumble. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.